Hey guys, welcome to Motorculture Australia. I'm Tom and today we're down here on the beautiful Gold Coast. The sun's out, the skies are blue, what more could you ask for? And today we have something really special for you. It's a one-of-a-kind Volkswagen and you're not going to want to miss this one. So stay tuned and we'll get straight into the video. Hey guys, I'm here with Dan and his amazing Scirocco. This is a very special Scirocco. It's not the same as the ones you see on the road every day. And the list of mods here, I don't even know where to start, but we might start with the brakes, Dan. So if you can tell us a little bit about what you've got there and the pros and cons of those, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Obviously, you can see on the sticker there, Alcon. So they're the Alcon 6-piston brakes. I've got the big 2-piece rotors on there, 378mm. Obviously, you know, having such a big rotor on there limits your tyre choices. So at the moment I've got to stick to the 19s, but you know, the payoff is amazing braking.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's exactly right.
Alrighty guys, so onto the business end of the car now. Dan, if you can tell us what's happening here, because there's quite a lot going on.
Yep, hopefully got enough memory card in the camera. There's a bunch of mods in there. Obviously the big ticket item is the turbo. So I've got a Garrett GTX 2867R. Gen 2, so one of the newer ones. Puts down a lot of power on the TFSI motor, and all the supporting mods that go with that. So we've got the custom downpipe, custom exhaust, so full turbo back with the valves. That's from RD Technic. Bunch of other supporting mods in there. I mean, we've got the cold air intake there, runner flap delete. So we've got we've got the integrated engineering catch valve cover and catch can. So basically that removes the PCV system and lets everything breathe through the catch can, which is pretty good on these direct injection motors. So it keeps all the gunk out of the intake manifold.
Awesome. So it's not your everyday Scirocco, as you can tell, and very excited to get out on the road and see what it can do. But we'll keep having a look at some other bits and pieces that are on the car. Around to the back now, where there is another bunch of awesome things happening here. So Dan, I think most of us will know what that is, but if you can tell us a little bit about it, mate, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Obviously with an engine like this, with the turbo building up a bit of heat, we wanted to keep the intake temperatures down. So I've gone with an AEM water methanol injection kit. I've only got the 1-port injection on that in the charge pipe, so that really keeps the intake temps down. And aided with that, we've got the Forge intercooler at the front as well. So both of those together really help keep the engine under control.
Right, the roads are a little busy today, but we'll see what we can do as we come around this bend here. Yeah, not looking like we're going to get much, but wow. This is not your everyday 4-cylinder at all. That's unreal. It's not terribly droning.
No, it's a really good exhaust. So the guys at RD Technic put together like a full turbo back, but they've got like really good resonator in there as well. So, and having the valved exhaust as well means you can sort of fly under the radar when you need to.
But it puts out a really nice note as well, and even the DSG pop there when you shift up. Picks up hard.
Oh, just so you know, that's in low boost as well.
I was not expecting that at all.
So we're just on wastegate pressure at the moment.
Yep.
So we've got the GFB3 boost controller, electronic boost controller, and the tuner set it up with three maps. Yep. So I've got base file, which is just wastegate springs. Yep. And then I've got mid boost, and then I've got a high boost.
That's really cool. This is definitely not the everyday P-plated Golf R that you see on the road.
No, definitely not. So this is Yeah. But see, even with the big turbo, I was concerned that there was going to be a lot of lag.
Yeah.
It seems to build really smoothly.
It does. It's a very linear build.
Yeah.
And as soon as it grabs the road, it just goes.
Yeah. Part of that is the so through the tuner that I've got, he organised some Dodson Motorsport clutches for the gearbox for the DSG. So before that, the stock clutches couldn't handle the high boost.
Oh, no.
So they were fried almost immediately. So
I can imagine.
So he sourced me some Dodson Motorsport clutches, and those things just bite.
Yeah,
like they're a little bit uncomfortable sometimes in the low speed stuff, but as soon as you turn up the wig, they grip and they put the power down. For a front wheel drive, they really seem to help.
That was my next sort of point I wanted to talk about. Being a front wheel drive car, you wouldn't expect it to sort of be able to plant the power the way it is doing so.
Yeah,
it's I know we were talking before that first and second gear are almost pointless if you're doing a hard pull, because naturally it just can't handle that much power through the front wheels. But when you're on a rolling start like that, I'm lost for words. Truly, I have never been in a Volkswagen, a 4-cylinder of any kind, that can pull like that. And I've been in quite a few Golf R's. Yeah. This is something different. This is
I think that's the thing with the front wheel drive platform as well. You know, it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
So once you're on a roll, it just really picks up that power, and you don't get a lot of the drive. Well, not as much drivetrain loss as you do in the all-wheel drive car. So
definitely.
On a roll, it's definitely impressive. Yeah. And smoother. So.
To talk about, I guess, the stopping power again. Luckily we're in Mexico and we aren't breaking any laws, but
well, that was 75 kilometers an hour, so
this car is something very, very special. But yeah, as I was about to say before we went into obliteration there, the stopping power, I guess, how does it compare, these brakes compared to the brakes that were on the car initially? Because these are ridiculous.
Yeah. So the OEM brakes on these cars are really good. So the R brakes are really good. But stepping up to these, I found that they're really progressive. I was expecting like a really bitey set of brakes, but stepping on the pedal, you get that progression. But the more you step into it, the more it just really brings the car down. So you notice that they're not grabby, but they're super powerful, which is perfect for a daily. You know, you don't want to have those light switch brakes. And this is a must for every race car. You got to have the fire extinguisher under the seat. Like I didn't want. It's not a track car, so it's still a street car. Obviously to the extreme, but it's still a street car. I didn't want to, go for a silly set of brakes. I mean, they are. I mean, massive overkill for the road. But,
you want to be able to drive it though.
I mean, if you can pile the power on, you need to take it off. So I think it was a safety thing as much as anything else. So
and you definitely can feel almost everything now being in the driver's seat. You can definitely tell this car has those engine mounts and brackets.
Nothing's stock.
No, you can always tell when you're in a car that's got the engine mounts, and this is no exception. You definitely feel it. Having said that, the build quality's very nice. It does sort of. It still does a very good job of getting rid of that engine noise. With the valves closed, you can't hear too much, and you'd be able to do a long distance drive with this and not have a headache by the end of it. But then, if we open the valves up, drop down, and that's not playing around at all. That's insane.
It is. It puts a smile on your face. That's for sure.
I don't think I've stopped smiling since we got in the car, but it's unreal. As we've touched on, you get the best of both worlds. You can, turn the valves off and put it in comfort mode, and it drives, like a Volkswagen should drive. But on the flip side of that, you open the valves,
high boost,
and exactly, and it's a completely different car. It's unreal, and a lot of Golfs and Volkswagens can do that, but this one does it on a different level. It's not, you go from a Volkswagen to something that's got a little bit of power on a stage 2 tune. This goes from comfortable.
The gap is bigger.
It's amazing. This is almost a race spec car.
So that was the goal with this car as well when I built it, is to make it all about performance, not about looks, because the Scirocco looks good standard.
It does.
I didn't really want to touch that, and if you, when you know, obviously when your guys look at the outside of the car, it still remains reasonably stock looking.
Yep.
You know, there's a lip on the back, a lip on the front, and wheels.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and that's what we said before. You wouldn't know unless you know.
Yeah.
What this car can do and what is on it. But
that's right. And that was the goal. And I think that, you know, tick that one off. So
yeah.
It's all under the skin.
Yeah, and it's a very subtle look though. Like it is a really clean car. You know, the body of the car is really flush with the rims.
Yeah.
And the tail light tint sets it off really nicely. And even the blue badges. That, as I said, I wasn't sure how that would look, but it's a really nice subtle look, and I'm actually quite keen on it. It looks really cool.
That was the thing. I had an X-Force exhaust on this car before, and it was a little bit deeper, but this one just has that nice balance between a little bit deep, and that race car sort of sound.
It's not obnoxiously loud either.
It's a really
as you
nice
said,
sound.
You didn't want that really loud pops and bangs. You've just got that little bit of burbling.
Yeah, and that was the tuner. He specifically put the burble map on there instead of the cracks and pops because, you know, I'm not a teenager anymore.
Yeah, everyone's got it. It is a very unique sound, and that's another thing that I love about this car. I mean, it's everything about it has the Volkswagen features, but at the same time, there's a little twist on almost every aspect of the car.
Yeah. And so pretty much every part of the car has been touched, which is, I think that's why it feels so good, because it's like the next level up in everything instead of just one part. You know, some people just upgrade the power, but not the brakes or the suspension, or they'll slam the suspension and then not touch the engine or anything. So
and I think you've got that perfect. The balance, you know, everything in the car overall, the balance is just, it's right where it needs to be, and I don't think you could change anything. I guess that's what leads me into my next question. What's your favourite part of the car? Your least favourite part of the car? And if you could change one thing on the car right now, what would you change?
So the favourite part obviously is the turbo. Having that power is it's quite addictive. So yeah, definitely the turbo. I don't think I really have a least favourite part of the car. I guess one of the downsides to having the suspension low is you really need to pick your drive. You know, you plan your route, so you know there's no steep driveways, there's no big gutters, the speed humps to go over. So probably the height would be a bit of a downside. And if I changed anything, it would be the diff. I'd put a limited slip diff in, and in fact, that's if you're going to ask what the next mod's going to be, it's a wave track limited slip diff. So,
if you had to put a value on the car, without getting too much into your personal finances, what would you estimate you've poured into the car?
All of it?
All of it.
Yep. I really don't know. Like it's probably a big number. But because I've done it over 7 years, it's been more than manageable. You know, it's been bits and pieces here and there the whole way over 7 years. So.
Alrighty guys, thanks for watching. Firstly, I want to say a massive thank you to Dan and extend our gratitude to you for letting us come and review your car. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm very passionate about this, so I really do hope this gains some traction, and it's something that we can continue to do as we build the motorculture brand. Look, I know the video is an amateur video. There's wind noise, the transitions aren't the greatest. Those are all things that we're aware of and that are going to continue to get better as we do continue to do this. Look, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the support. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel and share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.